Yo guys, what is going on? You might be asking yourself, why is Manel Cap on my screen right now? Why is this little rage baiter, like, hothead on my screen? It is because today we're going to be doing who I believe will become champ next in each division. Am I saying that these guys beat the current champ? No. But I think circumstances are going to manifest that are going to make these people the champion. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And let's lock in. So, Manel Cap. I don't think he beats Joshua Van. I think he could. I think it's very possible that he could beat Joshua Van. But I just see circumstances happening. Maybe Tatsuro Taira beats Joshua Van. And then, Taira would be the next champ. But then I think Manel Cap would like fluke Taira in that scenario. I don't know. I just see Manel Cap becoming champion of the flyweight division. I just think it's like a storyline canon event thing. And then Muhammad Makayev calls him out from the PFL.
I mean, I'd like to add, I personally think Cap could beat Van just because of he has much power in the flyweight division. So he's a very like precision striker. And Van's not one who would take him down. I just think he might find himself in some trouble on the feet, which is why I also think he could be the next one.
Yeah, Van is if I have to pick anybody, not Van, sorry, Cop is if I have to pick anybody in the flyweight division who's going to be next, I'm going to pick Cobb. I don't know. Taira could very well become champ. Pantoja could very well get the belt back. Joshua Van could very well keep the belt for 5 years, and then it's some guy we've never heard of that beats him. But if I have to pick somebody, I'm going to pick Manel Cap. Okay? That being said, the bantamweight division is kind of the opposite. So I'm picking Umnar to be the next champion of bantamweight because I think that is, again, the safe option, but not because it's like a bunch of people that are bad, but it's because a bunch of people that are good. And I'm not saying flyweight's bad. I'm just saying, I don't know what's going to happen next in flyweight. Bantamweight, it's kind of like, I do somewhat know that, Petr Yan's going to beat Merab again. And then he's probably going to beat O'Malley again after that. And I see, let's say Yan, vacates or something. I think Umar's going to be fighting for the vacant belt. And I think he would win that. I think he has a very good chance to beat Merab in a rematch if that is the fight they're looking to do. But I don't think, especially with Merab aging, and I don't know if he's even going to stick around that long. I see Umar becoming the champ. And then also, I do want to say, I think Umar is probably one of the better chances to beat Petr Yan as well. Because I think he might be able to, if anybody could, I think he could out skill for skill Yan. He can match him in the striking, the wrestling, the grappling, whereas everybody else has an area where they very clearly fall short to him in. Merab very clearly falls short to him in the striking. Sean O'Malley very clearly falls short to him in the grappling. I feel like Umar is competitive with him everywhere.
Yeah, I just want to add, I think this is the only one where we disagree. I personally think that O'Malley can still beat Yan in a rematch. So I'm just going with O'Malley, but if Yan beats O'Malley, Umar's definitely the next one up.
No, I think Yan is definitely going to beat O'Malley, and the reason why is because his wrestling has gotten so much better since the first fight, and then he also is implementing it more. Maybe it hasn't gotten better, but he's definitely implementing it more. He would go into an O'Malley rematch thinking wrestling, and I think he would fuck up O'Malley. Just because he's going to take a wrestling heavy approach. He took down O'Malley every time he tried in the first fight. He just wasn't going to it for whatever reason. I don't know why, but in the rematch, I think he would masterclass O'Malley. Unfortunately, I would be rooting for O'Malley to beat him. I want O'Malley to beat him, but I think I think Petr Yan would get that done. Anyway, moving on to another one of the inbreds. Oh my god. I don't think Movzar is going to beat Volk. Don't tell me, oh my god, dude, you said Movzar is going to beat Volk. I'm the biggest Volk glazer on the planet, bro. Chill. I think Movzar beats everybody else. I think Volk is eventually going to vacate, and I see Movzar Evloev getting the belt. Another way he could get the belt, I think he beats Gene Silva. If Gene Silva, flukes Volk, I think Movzar beats him. So I think Movzar will just somehow end up with the belt. I feel like it's kind of destined to happen.
The only thing I think here, though, I think the UFC will give him his title shot against Volk. If he loses it, unless he really changes something, I don't see him ever get another title shot.
Okay, well then what are they going to do with him? They're just going to cut him because he's going to keep beating people. I think he's better than literally everybody else in this division besides Volk. He would become so undeniable. And then also, they know him versus Lopez is an exciting matchup. They want to give Lopez an opportunity to get that one back. I think they would make Lopez versus Movzar 2 for the belt.
Yeah, I mean, just based off of, Volk already beating Lopez twice and having just these favorable matchups. His style is just so good against wrestlers, and this division is quite wrestle heavy, I'd say.
No, I feel like it's mostly strikers.
I was just thinking the top, you have Aljo, you have Movzar, and then you have some well-rounded guys who are similar to Volk's style, like Lerone, who mixes in some wrestling.
But Lerone's mostly a striker, Gene Silva's mostly a striker, Lopez is mostly a striker. Those are the guys at the top.
You have Zalal. You have to.
No, Zalal. I feel like Zalal is pretty well rounded. I feel like he's got good striking. He wasn't wrestling against Calvin Kattar. A couple, when everybody started to hate him. But anyway, regardless, it doesn't matter. Volk beats all these fucking guys. Unless Gene Silva flukes him. I think Movzar is going to find his way to the belt. Next up. Bro, come on, dude. Once Ilya vacates, it's Arman all day. I know the UFC hates him. I know. I get it. He's never going to get a title shot, and if he gets one, then he's never going to get another one when he loses to Ilya. But, dude, Arman is, one of the biggest names in the lightweight division. He's going crazy with Nina Drama. He's going crazy on Nina Drama. He's going crazy with Aiden Ross and RAF. And he's on a fucking, generational run of, a fan favorite comeback. Everybody hated this fucker when he beat Charles. But now everybody likes him because he's doing all this social media stuff.
Especially when he pulled out 311.
Yeah, everybody really hated that. But anyway, besides the point. I feel like once he fights for a belt, it's going to do really well. Even if it's versus Ilya and he loses, that's a huge fight, by the way. If he loses to Ilya, I feel like then they're going to be like, okay, well, he can fight for a belt again. It's fine. And then he beats everybody else. Charles isn't going to take him down. It would be similar to their first fight. And Arman's only improving.
Yeah, I mean, he's the best number one contender in my book in the UFC, and it's just the fact of the interim champ he is. It's actually just such a disgrace. But if Ilya vacates after beating Justin, no doubt in my mind, Arman wins a vacant title fight.
Yeah, we all know it should have been Arman versus. Oh wait, were you gonna say something?
And I still think he would have a chance against Ilya.
Yeah, I think he has a chance, but I would definitely favor Ilya 70-30 on that one. Everybody knows it should have been Arman versus Paddy.
Worst matchup.
Yeah, it's Ilya's worst matchup, 100%. Everybody knows it should have been Arman versus Paddy. Moving on, Machado Gary. I think it's gonna be Ian Gary. Once Islam vacates, I think Ian Gary beats pretty much everybody else. I mean, there's some interesting matchups for him, but Maybe
Yeah.
Michael Morales could maybe knock him out, but Ian Gary's got a good chin. So I think Ian Gary has the skills, has the tools to take down strikers. And honestly, outstrike strikers too. Like, he outstruck Carlos Prates. I think he would outstrike JDM too. To be perfectly honest with you, I think he would dance around JDM, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, and kind of do him like he did Carlos Prates. I don't think JDM would really touch him. But
Yeah.
then also, if there's strikers coming up the division like Carlos Prates rematch, he might take him down. Who knows? But, he shouldn't. He already beats him. And then, honestly, I think he just uses the grappling if he needs it. Maybe for a threat of the takedown, whatever. But he's just the best striker. And he's got some of the best grappling in the division as well. I think he's going to be champion once Islam vacates. But I do think he loses to Islam.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those he's a very good point fighter now. I'd like to see him go up against another point fighter and a former champ, but
All right, moving on. We got... Bro, I never said I was going to be the next champ, bro. I said I was going to be champ once Hamzat vacated, bro. Completely different, totally different. Dricus du Plessis. He's still, I know he got absolutely bent over and fucked badly. Mouth opened, feces inserted by Hamzat Chimaev. But he's still better than everybody else. Hamzat does that to literally everybody else. And Dricus, his fucking cartoony, silly, goofy style, it's still going to beat everybody else in that division. It's going to beat Sean Strickland in a trilogy. I think he demonstrated that in the second fight. It's going to beat Imavov. It's going to beat Joe Pyfer. It's going to beat Kyle Baralho. It's going to beat fucking... And anybody else who lost to those guys, too. It's going to be Brendan Allen.
yeah, I mean, the way I kind of see it, it's kind of like the same as welterweight, except more of a finishing threat. DDP is so well-rounded, and I just think he's miles ahead of any contender. Because no one in the UFC can do what Hamzat does.
No. Not even
No
close.
one in the UFC.
No.
Hamzat does that to everyone, besides, BJJ champion Gilbert Burns and, Usman.
Back in the day, at welterweight, while his weight drain, yeah. And then Usman... He took a bad approach to the Usman fight. I feel like if he approached that with the Dricus game plan, he would have 30-27 Usman. And also, nobody has ever done that to Usman, and nobody will ever do that to Usman again.
Yeah, but that's just why we don't think that loss really affects DDP.
And then
he's still on top.
Hamzat's probably going to vacate after the Strickland fight anyway. He's probably going to go up to the next division and fight. We are all picking and want Yuri to beat Olberg in Miami in a week's time at 327. Hamzat is gonna go up to light heavyweight and fight Yuri after Yuri slimes out Olberg. Everybody already knows, that's the matchup for the undisputed belt, and we think Yuri wins. Olberg just doesn't have the dog in him. Yuri's not going to give him a point fight. Yuri's going to run at him, chin first, and fucking slime him out cold with a spinning elbow.
Yeah, I mean, this division's just so terrible. I can't imagine this division if Olberg wins. This might be the worst period in the division of all time.
Yeah, we don't talk about if Olberg wins because it's not going to happen. There's no if. It's when Yuri wins.
But he's next to be champ. I wouldn't even know who else to put besides Yuri Olberg here. Maybe probably Ank again, but I don't know how long it's going to take him to get a title shot. I feel like they're going to make
or
him...
Hamzat.
That is true. Hamzat does beat Olberg and Yuri.
He would
opinion.
Beat Yuri too, unfortunately. But we don't have to think about that just now because Yuri Sliman Oldberg's bitch ass out. He's done. He's finished. And we're finished with this division. Going up to light heavyweight. Oh my god, dude. This is a tragedy. This is a travesty. Because regardless of what happens with this whole, like, you know, three hose trifecta of Aspinall, Gane, and Pereira, Aspinall is going to fuck off and go to boxing. Pereira is going to retire.
Mick Parkin to get the belt.
You know, bloody Mick Parkin. Pereira is going to retire. And then you're just left with Gane, who's going to beat everybody. Like, he beats Volkov in a trilogy. Like, let's be honest. He looked, regardless of the eye pokes, he looked too good against Tom Aspinall to lose to Volkov again. Like, he's just, it's not going to happen. So, and even if he does lose to Volkov, they'll give it to fucking Gane anyway. And then who beats Gane in the division? Who?
Maybe Curtis Blades, if he takes very wrestling heavy.
But even then, like, he was defending takedowns from Tom Aspinall, who I think is a better wrestler for MMA than Curtis Blades is. Like, I just, as much as I hope you all saw the Rogues Gallery video. If not, go check it out. This motherfucker was in it. We don't fuck with Ciryl Gane, so you know this is an unbiased prediction, but unfortunately, for everybody, Ciryl Gane's going to become the next champ. It was the prophecy. You can't just get infinite title shots and then never become champ, you know?
Agreed.
Yeah. So anyway, that's going to do it for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure, once again, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all boys in the next one.